Hello. In this video, I read out the Japanese folktales in English. I would be happy if you could press the channel subscription and thumbs up now. Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a cute little girl. She was a cute girl who could be loved by anyone who just looked at her, but no one loved her more than her grandmother, and whenever she saw her, she wanted to do everything for her, to the point that she didn't know what to do. So one day, the grandmother made a hood for the little girl out of red velvet. It looked so good on her that she decided she would never wear anything else. So the little girl came to be called Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother called her, "Come on, Little Red Riding Hood. Here is a piece of candy and a bottle of grapes. Take these, Little Red Riding Hood, to Grandma. Grandma is very sick, but if you give her these, she will surely feel better. Now, go out before it gets too hot. And when you go out, be careful and behave well, and don't run off down unknown alleys. No. If you do that and fall, the bottle will break, and you will have nothing to give to Grandma. Then, when you enter Grandma's room, first of all, don't forget to say, 'Good morning.' When you enter, don't suddenly start looking around the room. I'll be nice to you," Little Red Riding Hood said to her mother, and made a pinky promise. By the way, Grandmother's house was in a forest, halfway from the village. As Little Red Riding Hood was about to enter the forest, a wolf suddenly appeared. But Little Red Riding Hood didn't know what kind of evil beast the wolf was, so she didn't feel particularly scared. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. "Thank you, little wolf. You're going very quickly. Where are you going?" "I'm going to Grandma's." "What's that under your apron?" "Some sweets and some wine." "I know you're sick, Grandma. I baked some at home yesterday to bring some to visit you. I hope this will help you." "Where is Grandma's house, Little Red Riding Hood?" "You'll have to walk 8 or 9 blocks to the house deep in the forest, below the 3 big oak trees. You'll find it easily, as there are walnut carvings around the house," Little Red Riding Hood told her. The wolf thought to himself, "This young, tender-looking girl is oily and delicious. It's probably much tastier than Grandma's. And by the way, I can sense the secret to eating it all up." So, the wolf walked alongside Little Red Riding Hood for a while, talking along the way. "Little Red Riding Hood, look at the beautiful flowers blooming all around. Why don't you look around and take a look? Look, the little bird is singing so beautifully, but Little Red Riding Hood doesn't seem to be listening at all. You're just walking around mindlessly, busy, like you do when you go to school. Outside, it's so bright and fun in the forest." Hearing this, Little Red Riding Hood turned her back. Then she saw that the sunlight was filtering through the trees, and they were dancing happily here and there, and that on every tree. All the trees, there were beautiful flowers blooming in abundance. So she said to herself, "I'll find some lively flowers for Grandma, make a bouquet of them, and take them to her. She'll be really happy. It's still early in the morning, so I'm sure we'll get there in time." With this in mind, she suddenly took a side road and ran into the forest, looking for all kinds of flowers. Then, after picking one, she had the feeling that there might be an even prettier one further ahead, so she ran in that direction. And so, she was drawn deeper and deeper into the forest. Meanwhile, the wolf was finding an opportunity to run, and ran to Grandma's house. Then, he knocked on the door. "Oh, who is it?" "It's Little Red Riding Hood. I've brought you some sweets and wine. Please open the door." "Push the door. Grandmother is very sick and weak, and cannot get up." The wolf pushed the door. The door slid open. The wolf went in immediately, and without a word went straight to where the old woman was sleeping, and swallowed her in one big mouthful. Then he put on the old woman's clothes, put on the old woman's hood, lay down on the old woman's bed, and drew the curtains. Little Red Riding Hood, however, was busy collecting flowers and ran around the forest. And so, when he had gathered as much as he could, and there was no more to carry, he remembered his grandmother, and returned to his usual path. When he arrived at her house, he found the door open, thought it was strange, and went inside. Then he noticed that something seemed different than usual, so he thought, "That's strange, what's wrong? I feel excited today, and it must be your fault. It's always fun when I come to my grandmother's house." Thinking this, he called out loud, "Good morning." But there was no reply. So he went over to the man's house, and opened the curtains. There, the old woman was lying down, but her hood was pulled down over her eyes, and she looked a little different than usual. "Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have, so that I can hear you well. Oh, grandmother, what big eyes, so that I can see you well. Oh, grandmother, what big hands, so that I can grab you well. But, grandmother, what a nasty big mouth you have, so that I can eat you." As soon as he had finished saying this, the wolf suddenly jumped out of his bed, and ate poor Little Red Riding Hood open, with just one bite. With this, the wolf's belly was inflated, and he crawled back into his bed, and lay there for a long time to rest. After a while, he started snoring loudly. Just then, the wolf passed by, and stopped in wonder. "The old woman is sleeping, snoring loudly. That's strange. I have to see what's going on." So he went inside, and went to the bed, and found the wolf lying there. "Damn it, this wicked bastard, I've finally found you. I've been looking for you for a long time." So the wolf immediately aimed his gun at him. Suddenly, it occurred to him that perhaps the wolf was eating the old woman, or that she was still inside, saving her life. So he stopped shooting, but instead took out his scissors and began to cut into the sleeping wolf's stomach. As he put the two pieces in, he caught a glimpse of the Red Riding Hood. As he put the two pieces in, the little girl jumped out and said, "Oh, my, how surprised I was. It was so terrible what was inside the wolf's stomach." Soon, the old woman, still alive, came out. She was already on the verge of death. Little Red Riding Hood, however, immediately brought in large rolling stones, and stuffed them into the wolf's stomach. When the wolf woke up and tried to jump out, he was crushed by the weight of the stones. Now the three of them were very happy. The wolf took off the wolf's fur and took it home. The grandmother ate the sweets and drank the wine that Little Red Riding Hood had brought. Then she felt much better. Little Red Riding Hood, however, thought, "I'll stop going down the side paths in the woods and running around again. Mother said it was not good." That's that.